Today, we're going to respectfully break down the official medical report concerning the tragic passing of singer Humane Sagar. Now, this report uses a lot of really complex medical language, so our goal here is to simply explain what those terms mean and what the doctors said happened. Okay, so right off the bat, the medical bulletin from AIIMS Bhubaneswar points to one primary cause of death, multi-organ dysfunction syndrome, which they shorten to MODS. Now, that is a heavy medical term for sure, but it's really the central piece of this entire puzzle. Everything else we're about to look at leads right back to this. So that begs the big question, right? What in the world is multi-organ dysfunction syndrome? And what were the events that led the medical team to this final diagnosis? Let's walk through the official report step by step to connect those dots. First things first, let's be crystal clear about where this information is coming from. Every single thing we're about to discuss comes directly and only from the official patient bulletin that was released by AIIMS Bhubaneswar. Our focus here is purely on explaining the medical facts exactly as they were presented in that report. So, how did it get to that point? Well, a diagnosis like this doesn't just happen out of the blue. The report points to 3 severe underlying conditions that were putting the body under an incredible amount of stress. You can think of these as the 3 foundational pillars of what was going on. First up, the report identifies acute on chronic liver failure. You know, that term itself kind of tells a 2-part story. Chronic means there was a pre-existing long-term liver problem, but acute, that means that existing problem suddenly and very rapidly got much, much worse. Second on the list is bilateral pneumonia. And the key word here is bilateral. That means the infection wasn't just in one lung, it was in both. This was a really severe infection, and it would have made it incredibly difficult for the body to get the oxygen it desperately needed. And that third pillar was dilated cardiomyopathy, which really is just a form of heart failure. The report gets technical, mentioning severe left ventricular systolic dysfunction. But in plain English, it means the heart's main pumping chamber had become weak and enlarged. It just couldn't push blood through the body the way it's supposed to. It's almost exactly like a water pump that's losing its power. So just take a second and picture this. You have the liver, the lungs, and the heart. 3 absolutely critical systems all under severe strain at the same time. In medicine, when these core systems get hit that hard, it can trigger a truly devastating chain reaction. This is what's known as the domino effect. You can really see that cascade right here. It all starts with that foundational stress on those 3 organs we just covered. That intense stress then kicks off these systemic complications. Basically, other parts of the body start to fail because of the strain. And that, unfortunately, leads to the final stage, total system failure, where the body is just completely overwhelmed. And the bulletin gets very specific about what these complications were. We see refractory shock. That means dangerously low blood pressure that, crucially, isn't responding to any treatment. Then there's anuric acute kidney injury, which is a direct way of saying the kidneys failed suddenly and stopped being able to produce urine. And finally, coagulopathy, a really serious condition where the blood itself loses its ability to clot. And all of this brings us right back to where we started, to the primary cause of death. Now that we've seen all of the individual pieces, we can finally put them together to understand that final diagnosis. And here it is, the crucial takeaway. Multi-organ dysfunction syndrome isn't one single disease. It is the cascade. It is the clinical diagnosis for that exact domino effect we've been talking about, where the failure of one organ triggers a chain reaction that starts to take down other organs with it. So, when you add it all up, the liver failing, the lungs infected, the heart weakened, the kidney shutting down, and the circulatory system collapsing, you have multiple, distinct organ systems failing all at once. That is the very definition of MODS. And it leaves us with a pretty profound final thought. This case is such a powerful reminder that the body isn't just a collection of separate parts. It's one deeply interconnected system where a crisis in one area can trigger a total, cascading collapse. A truly sobering look at a very complex medical tragedy.